So have you thought about living just south of Boston in the suburbs right outside the city? Well, what I thought I would do in this video is highlight my top 3 favorite cities just south of Boston and talk about everything from transportation convenience to lifestyle to home pricing and things to do and everything in between. So if you want to know about these cities, let's get after it right now. What's going on, guys? My name is Lior and welcome back to my channel. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of talking about these 3 cities just south of Boston, real quickly, guys, first of all, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button for me. I'm putting out weekly content on this channel talking all about different cities and neighborhoods around Greater Boston. And number 2, guys, if you're thinking about making any sort of move within the Greater Boston area, whether you're buying a home, selling a home, investing in real estate, whatever it may be, me and my team here, we run a real estate team and we get so many calls from you guys watching these videos, and we love each and one of them. So if you're thinking about making any sort of move, make sure to hit us up and we will definitely help you out. So with that, let's get right into it and start with city number 1 that I wanted to highlight, which is Quincy. Now, Quincy is a South Shore town that's right next to Dorchester, Milton, just south of Boston proper. So it's kind of one of those first towns when you go south of Boston. And Quincy's a really cool area, right? Because, you know, it's a very diverse city that is home to young professionals and working professionals. It also has plenty of pockets that feel a lot more suburban, that's home to, you know, families and people that have lived there for a long time. So it actually feels like a very diverse city when you go there. Now, Quincy has also had the impact of a tremendous amount of development over the last handful of years. Particularly the location around Quincy Center has been really redeveloped with some major development projects. Large apartment and condo buildings have been built. You know, there's been a lot of commercial real estate built, and they've really redeveloped that area. And it's actually felt very different, right? I mean, it's really transformed the city, I think, and has really attracted a lot of people to live in an area that's really close to Boston, right? I mean, you're literally, if you want to go into downtown, you're maybe 15-20 minutes away, depending on traffic, right? Again, obviously traffic is a big thing because especially when you go up 93 into the city, it can be a little dicey. But still very easy to get into downtown Boston from Quincy. Now, what's really convenient about Quincy, and the reason why just, you know, it's such a popular choice, particularly for people that work downtown and want the kind of like cheaper options to live in, is, like I just said, it's really convenient, right? Not only can you shoot on the city into the city on 93, you have a number of MBTA stops on the red line, right? So if you can hop on the red line, it'll take you right in through Dorchester, South Boston, and then into the city. So it's very convenient from that perspective as well. Now, as I said, what's really interesting about Quincy is if you look at some pockets, they really do feel like you're living in a city, right? Like they feel very urban. But whereas you go, you know, into other pockets around the Quincy, they will start to feel quite suburban, right? That's kind of the cool thing about Quincy is they really cater to a lot of different types of people. Now, there's plenty of things to do in Quincy. Some of the highlights that, you know, I want to share with you guys is, first of all, they have a number of public beaches in Quincy. Quincy is right on the water, so you get plenty of water frontage in Quincy, which is nice. Quincy is close to the Blue Hills Reservation, right, which offers plenty of hiking, walking around. It's a large reservation. A lot of these towns in the South Shore that we're going to talk about are really close to it, so that's a really awesome amenity to have. Also very popular are the Granite Lakes. A lot of people actually go from Boston to golf over there. It's an awesome kind of like a golf course, and it's actually kind of on a hill and offers straight shot views of downtown Boston. You know, you have a lot of corporate functions. I remember when I was in corporate world, we did some stuff there. It's actually a very popular wedding venue as well. So that's actually a really cool spot to hang out in, especially if you're a golfer. Make sure to check that out. And still, there are plenty of restaurants, shops, grocery stores, all of that, everything you would expect from kind of living in an urban area you will find in Quincy, which is really nice. Now, in terms of pricing, the median home price today in Quincy is about $635,000. Of course, pricing can get much more expensive if you're buying larger single families. You can also find much cheaper options if you're looking at smaller single families or like condo or townhouse alternatives. Now let's move on to our list. So the second city I wanted to highlight on this list is Braintree. Now, Braintree is south of Quincy, so very close to Quincy. You'll see we're kind of talking about one particular region that I really like. Now, Braintree is home of the large South Shore Plaza, which is a huge, plaza, mall, whatever you want to call it down there. South Shore Plaza offers plenty of retailers, restaurants, shops. It is a big deal down in the South Shore. A few other things to do in Braintree as well is you do have good outdoor amenity, other outdoor amenities. Pond Meadow Park, right? You have hiking, meadows, woods. It's just a great recreation area. As I talked about with Quincy, you're pretty close to the Blue Hills Reservation there. So again, hiking, walking, trailing. And in terms of just overall vibe in Braintree, it definitely feels a lot more like a quiet suburb. Doesn't really have as much of an urban feel as maybe Quincy does. Typically you'll have a lot more, families, professionals that live in Braintree. You have a lot more single family space, larger lots. It definitely feels a lot more like your traditional suburb. Now, in terms of pricing, Braintree is actually pretty similar to Quincy. Your average median sales price is $660,000. So pretty close to Quincy, kind of what you would expect over there. Again, obviously, if you're buying larger single-family homes, you can certainly get much more expensive. If you're gonna buy condo alternatives, you can, of course, find cheaper. Now, the last city I wanted to highlight in this list, number 3 on my list, is Weymouth. Now, Weymouth is also pretty close to both Quincy and Braintree. It is another, what I would call, pretty quiet, peaceful suburb south of Boston. Fun fact, it is actually the second oldest town in Massachusetts, so there's a lot of actually historical sites in Weymouth, which is kind of cool. Now, Weymouth is actually divided into a number of what they call villages. So you have East Weymouth, you have North Weymouth, South Weymouth, and then Weymouth Landing. What's convenient about Weymouth is they do have 3 commuter rail stops. They have Weymouth Landing, East Weymouth, and South Weymouth, right? So if you are a professional working downtown, you can hop on the commuter rail and shoot right into the city, which of course is a major, major plus. In terms of, if you're gonna drive, you have routes 3 and 3A, which are probably your best bets of getting to Weymouth. Those will connect into the major highway systems into 93. Now, in terms of things to do, like the other cities we talked about, plenty of outdoor space and amenities. You have Wet Memorial State Park, which has views actually of the downtown city skyline of Boston, which is cool. You can walk, picnic, all that kind of good stuff. You do have beaches up north in Weymouth. The northern part of Weymouth does go right on the water, which is really nice. And you actually have other smaller additional parks over there. You do have 2 large ponds as well. So again, plenty of outdoor space, plenty of outdoor amenities. If you are looking for that kind of suburb that's quiet, peaceful, you could walk around, go to the beach, walk around ponds. Weymouth is a fantastic, fantastic alternative for that ideal suburb living. In terms of pricing, it is a little bit cheaper than both Braintree and Quincy. Average median price over there is $560,000, which is pretty reasonable, especially for Greater Boston. That's actually a very reasonable price. So, if you're looking for a little bit of a cheaper option south of Boston, Weymouth is certainly the place to look at. So hopefully that's helpful, guys. Again, those are my 3 kind of top cities I would look at if you're looking at south of Boston, where you can still get in and into the city without too much stress or hassle. So, of course, if you have any questions, comments about any of them, make sure to put them in below, and I will definitely help you out.